it. Well, never fear, ladies and gentlemen. We have overcome some tiny little technical difficulties. It's scintillating live podcasting. I'm Jeffrey Daugherty, the Christian Whistleblower, as always on Sunday morning here with Wayne Steiger from the Steiger Perspective and a lot of other good stuff. Wayne, here we are. We made it. Yet another Sunday.
Yes, 1st of September.
Isn't that something? It's already September of 2019.
It's going faster, and everybody seems to see it as well.
Is it just because we're getting older that we think time is moving faster?
I don't know. I heard a DJ say this the other day. He says, man, what happened to the year? And I mean, it's like everyone's thinking, maybe we're being compressed. I don't know.
That's interesting. That's interesting. And Wayne, I see that your lower whiteboard is almost clear.
Mm-hmm. I've been up since about 4 o'clock, so I finished up what I was doing. And it's going to be a hot one out here today.
Really?
Yeah, almost 100 degrees.
Huh. What's it going to be like here? I don't think it's going to be. Usually it's well, I don't know. Today they say it's going to be it's going to be hot here too, almost 90 degrees.
Yeah, I'll take the 90. I don't like, 100 degrees. Nah. So we're living in different times, my friend.
No, we had a rainstorm the other night, and we've got some paddle boards out there by the lake and some kayaks out there. And it rained so much overnight that the water level came up a hill, Wayne, about at least 8 feet, and floated away 3 of our paddle boards and 1 of our canoes. There was that much water overnight.
Wow.
Yeah, it was crazy. It really was.
Did you find them?
Well, we just found out yesterday that we lost them, so we put in some ads and stuff, and we'll see.
That sucks.
We'll see.
That's a big rise, though. I mean, is there a dam controlling your water there? Or
there is a dam, but I don't know it happened overnight, so there wouldn't be anybody to operate the dam at the night, I wouldn't think. And it floated those things away, and who knows where they are.
Well, that's sorry to hear that. I'll speak favor that you'll find them.
It's just kind of odd, that much rain overnight.
Yeah, that's my friend. I think we're in for the roller coaster. I think is just leaving the station.
Too much, too fast, says Cynthia.
Yes. Too much, too fast. That's like drinking.
8 inches of rain, she said.
That's nuts. That's nuts, I'm telling you.
Some would say, Wayne, when it comes to drinking, there's no such thing as too much, too fast.
I don't know about that.
Wayne, I know what the problem is. I know why it happened.
Why?
2 words for you: stellar core.
Yeah.
Planet X.
It could have been maybe part of the. When was this?
This was a couple nights ago.
Okay, all right. Could have been a coronal hole too.
What is a coronal hole?
It's the part of the sun that doesn't have any shielding on it, and so was first observed by the Apollo. I think it was Apollo 9. And anyway, it's literally it's a gaping hole in our sun, and we just had a big one pass by us. We're in a geomagnetic storm for the last 12 hours. What are you laughing about?
Tracy Dyer says, or it could just be rain.
Could be.
It could. Do you think that I had a guy on the show this week named Terrell Blackstar, and he does the very best 9/11 reporting out there, at least according to Jim Mars, which is pretty high praise. But he also talks about very, very biblical end timesy, and talks about a black star, a twin dark star to the sun.
Yeah.
You're not really impressed. It doesn't look like.
Here's the thing, Jeff. I've seen this stuff since 2013. It just gets recycled.
Does it? Yeah.
And, all right. So wouldn't we be seeing some effects of this? Well, look, it's the end time. Well, you know what? The earth is a very volatile place. It's always been volatile. It's
That's
not
true.
Because of a biblical prediction or a mindset. It's just the fact it's freaking earth.
Yeah. And Wayne, I was thinking the other day, 2,000 years ago, when they first wrote the book, Paul was saying, get ready, it's going to happen any minute. And they've been saying it's going to happen any minute for 2,000 years. And it's almost, Wayne, call me a skeptic, but it's almost like they don't really think Armageddon's coming, but it makes one hell of a fear and guilt control tool.
It keeps the money in, baby.
Keeps the money coming. And on that note, Wayne,
yeah,
reports out of Vatican City say that Pope Francis was stuck in an elevator for 25 minutes, and the fire brigade had to come rescue the pontiff from an elevator. Wayne, I know, as Tracy would say, maybe the Pope just got stuck in an elevator, but it almost, to me, is almost emblematic of the Pope is literally losing power.
Literally.
He is.
Yeah, literally. But that is, where was God? I mean, isn't he his main dude?
Where was God? That's interesting.
You know, Michael, I mean, where the freak are all these saints at, you know?
What would you talk about for 25 minutes if you're stuck in the elevator with the Pope? You got the Pope for 25 minutes.
Yeah, yeah. So how's it hanging?
Well, you would hope that he wasn't making those little googly Pope eyes at you. That would be your first worry.
Yeah. Oh, man.
If you got stuck in the elevator for 25 minutes with the Pope, would you feel like you were in jail?
Hell, more likely.
I just wonder if he had that hungry roommate look about him is what I was thinking.
Jeez. Wow. That's it's still, though, it's kind of funny, you know. It's like, well, where was God in all this? Maybe God caused it.
What makes you wonder? It does. It makes you wonder, doesn't it?
Well, you know, you just said something. They're losing power. They're losing their members. Their coffers are getting lower and lower. You know, if you were a CEO, you'd probably be fired by the board by now.
Oh, you might be.
Yeah. So, God, what's up?
And I saw something, and I didn't follow up on it. It just reminded me to follow up on it. There was a picture of Benedict and Francis talking to each other, and it said there was a rivalry between the two popes.
Well, didn't the first one like retire? I mean,
yeah, Ratzinger retired.
Yeah, I mean, so he's got no skin in the game. Well,
yeah, but he's still living in the Vatican and stuff.
Oh, is he?
Yeah.
Oh, I thought they gave him a villa somewhere, but I didn't know.
Well, he's still in Rome. I think he's still I think they don't let him out of Vatican City, if I remember correctly. Travis Thorpe says he was going to jump up and down in the elevator if he got stuck in there with the Pope.
Yeah, there you go. What isn't there an escape hatch at the top? I mean, here most that I know do.
How are you going to climb out wearing a dress, though?
Well, you got to get down to the skivvies, I guess.
And you'd have to jump up and kind of pull yourself out of the elevator. I don't know if the Pope has that level of physical fitness.
You know, you could make a rope out of everything he's wearing around him.
That's true. He's got a belt on, right?
Yeah, he does. And if you had to, start shredding that robe. You know, baby, we're getting out of here.
Yeah, I'm sure wouldn't be the first time that's ever happened.
Oh, no, that's just funny. That just there's all sorts of correlations to that one.
There are. So the Pope gets stuck in an elevator in the Vatican for 25 minutes.
Well, I wonder if it was Ratzinger that did it.
There you go.
I mean, he's a rat, you know? What a name.
Wow. Where is Francis from? Is he from Argentina?
He's somewhere in South America. I know he's more socialist than he is anything else.
Well, he's a Jesuit.
So,
first Jesuit Pope. How can that be, man? As powerful as the Jesuits have been, he's the first Jesuit Pope. Wayne, I got a brand new conspiracy theory for you. This is great stuff. You know, Ratzinger obviously was from Germany, right?
I believe he was.
Yeah. Francis is from Argentina. What did Germany and Argentina have in common?
Oh, well, I wouldn't know. I mean, you know, let's see. Joseph Mengele, I happen to know for a fact. I mean, he died an old man down there.
Herr Hitler.
Yeah. Well, the Fuhrer, you know, who am I to say?
So the Nazis, the case could be made they control the United States. Do they also control the Vatican now? Well, of course they do. It's all the same team, Wayne.
It's like the Who saying, we won't get fooled again. Welcome to the new boss, who is exactly like the same of the old boss. I mean,
is that in that song? Is that where that comes from?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Wow. So, and it's the first Jesuit pope.
Them bastards.
So this might be these people talking about this is the last pope. They might be right. This might at least be their end game of the Roman Catholic, Roman Protestant religion.
So the monk that gave that prophecy, Father, who was it? O'Brien? What was his name?
I can't remember. It was
Malkovy.
Prophecy of the Popes, right?
Yeah, it was MC. Anyway, you'll find it. And
that was all the rage for a while.
Yeah. As prophecy is so subject to perception.
Saint Malachy, the 12th century archbishop from Ireland. Yes. But of course, he said to be, what was his name? Romanus, Petrus Romanus, Peter the Roman. Mm-hmm. Not sure how you get Frankie the Argentinian into Peter the Roman, but
here's the thing, though.
I'm so picky.
This is kind of like, families. One family moved in and another one's moved out. Listen, I don't think it's very interesting about the Jesuits that their man is in there now.
For the first time. Mm-hmm. First time. That blows my mind. That's the first Jesuit pope.
There's something to be dug into that.
If I was to wax conspiratorial, I would say that there's always been a Jesuit power in the Vatican. Maybe that's the so-called dark pope. But for the dark pope, maybe right now there's just one pope. And that pope would be Frankie.
So are we contending that basically the board is stacked? The Jesuits never let anyone else in?
Well, the Jesuits always control it.
So they would be the board.
Yeah, they're the board. So it doesn't matter who's the CEO, quote unquote. They're the board.
Who's the chairman, though? That's the figure who I've never found out. Who is the top Jesuit?
Oh, who is the leader of the Jesuit order? That's interesting because he's the guy that knows where all the bodies are buried.
Yeah, he would be, but I never hear. I've never even heard a name. I've never even heard of anyone claiming to take that position.
That's why it's very, very powerful.
Woo!
The Superior General of the Society of Jesus.
Really?
Yes, and it's funny enough. The term Black Pope redirects to this article. Superior General of the Society of Jesus is the official title of the leader of the Jesuits. He's generally addressed as Father General. And it's this, Wayne, it's so funny sometimes when you're good. We're pretty good because this position sometimes carries the nickname of Black Pope. The current Superior General is the Reverend Father Arturo Sosa, elected on October 14th, 2016.
I never heard anything about that.
Yep, Arturo, he's a Venezuelan and is the first person born in Latin America to lead the Jesuits, which goes back to the Pope now being a Latin American. Oh, we got a real good conspiracy theory going here, Wayne. This
goes to Argentina, which now goes to Nazi Germany. Maybe the Fourth Reich is here.
He was born in Caracas, Venezuela. Wow, joined the Jesuits in 1966. How about that, man?
The Fourth Reich.
How about that?
Here's my question.
Georgetown professor. We can bring it all in. He helped bring down Hugo Chavez. Wow.
So my question is this. The Jesuits, what was their name before J was in there?
Well, they weren't they were invented right around the time of the J. So who did they take out?
Who do they take out?
What do you mean?
Well, I mean, you're talking, 1,400 years before the Jesuits took power or apparently took the helm. So who was over there, running the show prior to that?
Well, they started at roughly 1600, so they had to had to give them some time to build up their power and their prestige. But they were started basically to be the Pope's army, and they were started pretty much as part of the Reformation to come against the Protestant reformers. That was their main duty. So it took them a little while to gain.
Were they opposed
power
to the Crusaders?
Well, yeah. Well, the Crusaders wasn't that quasi.
The Templars.
Yeah, that was quasi-Catholic. So I don't know. That might have been a time where there's another good idea. That might have been the first time the Roman Catholics and the Roman Protestants worked together.
Because if we look at the structure of this, I contend that the cult of Bacchus was where this started. But, Constantine, I think, had more of an idea of seeing government in a much different light. And
very interesting.
So here's the thing, Jeff, the Dark Ages were called Dark Ages for a reason. And that emanated right from Rome.
Yeah, no doubt about it. I have a theory of why the Pope might have been stuck in the elevator.
All right.
Wayne, did you know that there's a whole new science out there, a whole new level of technology that's called teledildonics?
I have heard this.
Teledildonics basically means there's sex toys that can be remote controlled from another location. And maybe Francis has got hijacked, because it's happening, folks. People are hijacking people's teledildonics, and the question is that sexual assault? And either because we know what kind of place the Vatican is, either Francis's might have overheated or something and caused a power surge or a power drain, or maybe there's so many of those teledildonics working in the Vatican that they shorted out the Vatican's power supply briefly, causing the 25-minute delay and being stuck in the elevator. And being stuck in the shaft, it brings a whole new perspective to that.
Yeah.
Stuck in the shaft, he said.
Moving on along.
Oh, yeah. This just became good. Must-see radio. Watch Wayne turn as red as his shirt. But can you imagine? No, I can understand the world of dildonics, but can you imagine giving someone else a control so they can control your dildonic experience from the other side of the country or world?
I just never knew it was that big of a problem. I mean, if humanity is now being obsessed by, sex toys that apparently can be remote controlled, we got way too much time on our hands.
Wow, who knew that the cloud was going to be used for such cutting-edge technology?
I'm telling you, it's not human.
And if they get 5G in, I mean, you never have to be apart from your teledildonic device. You can just walk down the street and be serviced.
That is very interesting because, if people are preoccupied with that type of experience, that's seriously, technically, you're in a trance.
The thing I wonder, Wayne, is we had Jenny Moonstone on this week, and we talked about we had a lesbian astronaut in space access her ex-wife's financial records. So now they have to create this new crime of interstellar, space crimes. What if she was able to access her ex-wife's teledildonic device? Would it be assault from outer space? Assault from outer space. You never thought it'd be like that, ladies and gentlemen.
I got to say, I don't remember her going up, and I don't remember NASA saying the fact that she was married and the fact that she was a lesbian.
Yeah, I don't remember her going up, but one thing I'm sure of, Wayne, what goes up must go down.
Yeah. Well, carpet cleaning always works very well.
Oh, my.
Anyway.
That's awesome.
Moving on along.
Moving right along. I don't know, why do we have to move from that? This is working real good.
Yeah.
Wayne, you actually brought out a good joke there. I'm surprised.
Listen,
And
um,
whew, well done, Wayne. Well done.
there you go.
Oh, and guess what,
Oh
Wayne?
man.
And this has been endorsed by none other than Pocahontas, Elizabeth Warren, and Mayor Butt-Geeg, speaking of Teledildonics, but there's this whole new movement now that on your identification, Wayne, you don't have to select if you're male or female. You can be gender X. It's people that don't want to declare a gender.
Isn't that done at birth? There's nothing hiding it, folks. Yeah.
The Democratic Party has lost their mind. When you got two of the top Democratic candidates saying, sure, we don't have to have a gender. And can you imagine the security implications of, we're looking for this person that came back from space and is on the run because they were teledildonically assaulting their spouse. And is it a male? We don't know if it's a male or female. It's just an X. Be on the lookout for an X.
Well, I'm going to quote someone who, is on where I used to come from, but, I just lost his name, the cat down in San Antonio. Come on, who has the church down there?
In San Antonio?
Yeah.
I don't think I know.
Yeah. Anyway, I'll think of his name here in a second. He made recently a comparison that I really think was very accurate. If you go back and look at the last 100 years of the Grecian Empire, its government, what was happening to the society, how it was beginning to collapse, go forward to Rome right around the time that Constantine was the last true Caesar, I would say. We are seeing the same parallel here. I mean, our legislators are nuts. And this is what gets me. They're saying this kind of crap, but at the meantime, the debt that no one seems to really be talking about, it's out of control. I mean, it's going to end very badly for us. That's all I got to say. Anyway, I digress on that. That's just nuts. I contend, though, that we've lost it as a society.
Oh yeah, I think we have. There's no doubt about it.
I think we've crossed over a line, and I'm trying to figure out when we did that.
Well, you almost think that you have to cross over a line before it can be righted. It has to get so crazy before people realize, okay, this is nuts. Let's go ahead and hit the reset button.
Would you say that a virus has taken over? When I look in Washington, D.C. politics now, I've never remembered a time where the negative vibes, man. I mean, talk about hate. This is crazy. And I think it's showing up when we're seeing these shootings.
But Wayne, what is the one thing that unifies all of politics right now across the board?
Well, anything that distracts them. Tragedy.
What there's one universal thing that binds all politicians from the left to the right now, every single one of them.
What's that?
They hate Trump.
Oh, yeah, the hate. Yeah. Well, this is a new phenomenon. I mean,
so they've never been more unified in one sense.
When I think about one individual who is being the receiver of that much hate, I hope he's got something strong enough to repel it.
He doesn't, Wayne. He's not repelling it.
I mean,
I'll tell you what he's doing right now. He's transmuting it. He knows how to take that strong energy, which is just energy, blow the intention off of it, and use that energy for himself. The more they hate him, the more powerful he becomes.
Well, I mean, it's reaching into the inner circle, and you
got a guy like Trump that knows how to transmute energy. He's either adored or despised, and either way will work for him because he can use that energy.
No,
indifference he can't use, but hatred and love he can use, and he's using it.
We're seeing a new chapter. There's no doubt about it.
He might be. I mean, he could be a powerful magician. I'll just say it.
As you said something, I just thought, if you were at a level of a master, you could literally deflect that energy into, let's say, a hurricane.
And I have that written down. Am I just old, Wayne, or I don't recall so many storms A and so many perfectly formed storms B and so many like superstorms C. It's almost like they're being created because we didn't have this stuff 30, 20, even 15 years ago.
Yeah. Well, they were so telling everybody that it was going to come in to Florida, Central Florida, direct hit, right?
Yeah.
And I will say this about the observers. When we saw the peak of the geomagnetic storm hit yesterday, we knew it was not going to hit Florida.
Yeah, I've been spending so much time from the computer, my eyes are bugging me again. So I need to go to the blue
out,
light,
don't they, buddy? They
go
dry
to the blue
out.
light glasses, yeah.
Well,
so yeah, I mean, I've never been they're creating storms guy, but the more of these superstorms that happen to show up, you've got to begin to ask yourself.
Now, see, I do believe that technology exists.
I think the technology definitely does exist. Is the storm actually moving backwards? We have people in the chat room saying it's moving backwards.
It's going to move out. I don't even think it's going to hit the United States now.
Now, Cliff Desmond, our buddy Cliff Desmond, and a bunch of people down in Florida were praying for it not to hit. Not praying, but they were using their energy for it not to hit. So there we go again. Was it that, or was it something else? Interesting.
Well, I think it was a combination. We're electrical beings, and so if the Earth is being hit by a geomagnetic storm, we can tie into that just as well as to focus. I mean, isn't that just as rational as,
So if somebody doing an experiment tomorrow, let's create a storm and then let's see if we can provoke a coronal ejection and see if it will override it. Ooh, that's really deep conspiracy right there.
If the coronal hole is at the right time, who knows? But
hey, we can control the weather. Maybe we can control the sun.
Some say that. I'm not buying it. But hey, who am I?
Who are we, Wayne? We're just a couple of guys on YouTube.
We are. We love controversy.
Craziness.
It's like, that's why I left the whole Planet X thing. It's like, well, if it's coming, well, we ought to be doing something else besides just waiting for it.
Do you think the outing of pedophilia, and it looks like we're going to see a lot more people outed, does that take away some of the power of the shadowy groups like the Jesuits? Because, I mean, I guess you could start a whole new round of blackmail, but once you've blackmailed people and once they have been convicted of and exposed doing what you've got the blackmail on them for, you lose your power, don't you?
Yeah, the question about these Jesuits, I since we started talking about it, I'm thinking about this more and more. Are they invoking spiritual archons? The type of power that they have, I don't think that that's normal for a human being to actually generate.
Well, they've always been, for lack of a better term, and this is very graphic, people can understand it. They've always been the SS of the Vatican. They've always been the Pope's SS troops. So they've always had a lot of power. Like I said, they know where the bodies are buried, and they're the ones that ensure the Pope that he's not going to get taken out. So maybe they just decided, hey, after 2,000 years, you haven't been able to lock this thing down. We're in danger of losing it, so we're going to take over and see what we can do.
They would have access to the Vatican vault, right?
Everything.
Well,
I would bet you dollars to donut holes that the Vatican vaults are patrolled or protected by Jesuits.
That's what I was going to say.
Yeah.
It's like the fox guarding the hen house.
So I got this person that keeps asking me over and over in capital letters, when are you going to talk about the parasite within? What the hell is the parasite within?
I don't know.
Me either. But I know I'm getting sick and tired of seeing that over and over again.
it's cap letters. That's
Yeah.
yelling.
Yeah, I get it at emails, comments, and now
A parasite within.
What is the parasite within?
Some would call us a parasite.
Some would.
You know, we certainly would be a virus to the old construct of the Christian doctrine that we came out of.
Right. And I've, finally, just after 45 years, just this week, I am completely free of the Jesus virus for the first time in 45 years.
Congratulations.
It feels great.
Justin Bieber, did you know that he is now leading worship service at the church in L.A.?
I heard that. What church is he at?
What is it? They got a new one now. Yeah, I mean, I'm going, well, okay, that's interesting.
Justin Bieber leads worship. That's interesting.
I mean, that would draw a crowd just to come in.
Oh, yeah, the Biebs.
Yeah, I mean, he just kind of disappeared, right? And he just, anyway, I thought that was very interesting that they're going to have to come up with a new gimmick. I don't know. Franklin Graham says that people like you and I, we're going to get it.
Well, he knows where to find me.
Jeffrey, I have an idea. You ought to bring him on the show.
Oh, I would love to bring him on the show.
I wonder if
Justin Bieber is leading the worship at Church Home in Beverly Hills.
Thank you.
A part of a network of congregations launched by Seattle megachurch leader and Bieber's personal pastor, Judah Smith. Interesting. Judah Smith.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. How about that? Church Home, it's called.
It was a new one.
On Wilshire Boulevard at the Saban Theater, or the Saban Theater. How about that?
Nice digs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Elijah and Anne Marie Waters are the pastors there. Dude, it looks like a bunch of Bieber clones that run the place.
Really?
Wow. Yeah, they're crazy. That's crazy right there. That's scary.
Well, I think
the church is becoming irrelevant. They got to try to do some new stuff, and they're doing it.
Jeffrey, you just said the exact words I read in this article yesterday that said exactly that word. It was that the church today is finding itself becoming more and more irrelevant in people's lives. So you're right. They had the time of the mega churches with the great productions, where, worship service was like going to a Vegas show. And, the whole thing, you had the fireworks and everything else. And then that became, well, it's like, okay, how are we going to outdo ourselves? So,
right.
Jeffrey, I'm going to make a prediction. We're going to start seeing magic show up in Christian churches.
Thank you, Bigwig. We're going to see magic. We're already seeing magic in churches.
Yeah, but no, I'm talking about bringing it out.
How would that work? How would they? I mean, they're already using it. How would they work it?
Well, by this I mean, could you imagine seeing things levitate?
Huh. That would be interesting.
Wouldn't it, though? You're going to have something that's going to have to match the power of manifestation that's happening outside the church.
I went on Coast to Coast maybe 3 years ago and said that one of these days, the amazing Jesus, I did a little show on that. That was funny. Turns water into wine. Shabam, boom, Shaboom. Water in the wine. That's beautiful. I've always held that
like that.
What's that?
There's a song like that.
Yeah. It was the King of the Hill, Bobby the little kid did the amazing Jesus. It was just brilliant. You should look that up.
I'm remembering this now. Yeah, he comes out there with the cape and the
yeah.
Well, I believe
you're at a party and your party's run down. Nobody's having fun. Don't worry. When you got the amazing Jesus, boom, your water's now wine. Drink up, folks. But I've contended since then and still believe that one of these days we're going to see the amazing Jesus come down off of a crucifix and talk to the people right in a church, maybe right in the Vatican.
We're going to have to see it. And we're talking about it first here, folks. So remember this podcast.
Yeah. The amazing Jesus.
We're going to see it, Jeffrey. We're going to see it. And we're going to hear stories about it. And who knows where it's going to be? It could be somewhere in a distant land. Could be here at one of the mega churches. Who knows? But you're going to hear it, that levitation.
Yep. He'll come down off that cross and do some stand-up, probably. Because that's what that church looks like. Church home, the pastor's just got a stool, and he's got his Bible sitting on a stool, and he's walking around doing stand-up.
It's so true.
Well, they've always been a joke. At least now they're admitting that they're comedians.
Yeah, well, because, the other stuff is not working. I remember the crusades of Billy Graham back in our day. Remember when they interrupted television for his crusades?
I do not remember that.
Yeah, well, I'm a little older than you. But yeah, they would actually have, the networks would interrupt their prime time for the Billy Graham crusade. And here we had the doctrine being spread across the only 3 networks that were out there. That doesn't happen today.
And I mean, Billy Graham was started because William Randolph Hearst started pushing him.
Yes.
And he owned all of the newspapers at that time. So Billy Graham was a media creation. No doubt about it. So Billy Graham was created by the New World Order. And of course, there's a lot of information coming out about Billy Graham and pedophilia and a lot of dark stuff.
I hear the voice in my head going, you wanted to see magic? That was magic.
Yeah, that was magic.
That was spell casting on a nationwide basis. And, back in those days, if you and I had come out the way that, brother, we wouldn't be allowed in any town.
Somebody said, was Billy Graham a Freemason? I believe he was.
I think he was. Yeah.
I'm pretty sure he was a Freemason.
Yeah.
Wayne, if you see somebody on a show talking about something, you say you're watching a YouTube show and you see somebody on there with a big old Masonic ring and they're talking about any subject, how does that affect your view of them?
Well, number one, I want to make sure that my magic is going to counter theirs because they have some strong sigils and symbols. And
Billy Graham was a Freemason.
You have to recognize that. I mean, if you're going to go up against that power, yeah, and it does affect my opinion on what they're saying.
Wayne, breaking news in the chat room. Michael Topman, who must be new here, says no sex until marriage.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right.
Thank you for sharing. At least it wasn't in all capitals.
Yeah, that was respectful. And hey, listen, if you live by that mantra, go for it.
And if you live by that mantra, you're not going to get any STDs or anything. So I mean, hey, it has its value.
But I contend, though, isn't sex more up here than it is down there?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, I mean, and
of course, sex is
what
somebody says. Well, that depends upon what your definition of sex is.
I got Epstein in the blue dress for some reason.
Oh, you know why? Tracy Dyer, not to be outdone in the standard department, says most people live by the rule of no sex after marriage. Well,
you know what happens, Tracy? They get into hallway sex. You know what that is?
You pass each other in the hallway and say, fuck you.
Exactly.
Wayne, do you know the difference of a job after 7 years and a wife after 7 years?
I think you can fire. I don't know what.
No, after 7 years, the job still sucks, brother.
Love is grand.
Isn't it? They
say that those are the things that we have to overcome before we ascend.
We do.
But then again,
I'm contending that sex is so powerful that it's being attacked. If we could learn how to manifest through sexuality would take us to a whole new level.
Well, that's never been done, and I wonder why.
You know why?
I do know why, and here's the thing. It's very obvious that the spirit realm is very interested in sex. I mean, they seem to be more preoccupied by it than we are.
And Anne-Marie Paul says, preach, Jeff. Thank you, Anne-Marie.
We don't preach here.
But I mean, we are. That's the great untapped human potential. We have to learn that sex is not dirty, sex is not evil, sex is not wrong, and I would contend that sexuality, the creative power of sexuality, is the closest to our divine powers that we can manifest here on this earth, in this plane.
I think humanity has been, at least let me say the current version of humanity has never gotten it right. You just said something that's actually contained in some very wonderful magic.
Absolutely.
That if we could learn as a species to harness that energy, wow.
Yeah, we need to start teaching people that. And of course, Tracy, not to be outdone, says, yeah, time to tap into that.
Yeah.
And Joe King says, Joe is a tapper. Thanks, Big Bugs.
Yes, indeed. But seriously,
Seriously, folks. We do need to we need to understand our own sexuality and learn how to develop it individually, solo, and then we can take it out into our relationship. But Wayne, let's just say that we learned, we're here, we might as well go here. Let's say that we learned how to manifest sexual magic solo, right? We learn how to manifest sexual magic with our partner. Can you take the manifestation of sexual magic into a group setting and combine all that intention and focus it? Or then do you just start getting weird?
No, that's where the discipline comes in.
Yeah.
There is a discipline.
I wonder what Anne-Marie Paul would say about that.
I have no idea.
Anne-Marie Paul does a lot of work in sacred sexuality specifically for women. She says, yes, you can.
Yeah.
But boy, that's
discipline.
The discipline and the I don't know if we're ready for that, Wayne.
So when I lived in a commune back in 1973,
there's the beginning of an interesting story, no matter where it goes.
And we actually harvested our own mescaline from peyote cactus. And we, in fact, would engage in, now our group wasn't a large group. I mean, it was
great stuff in the chat room, Wayne. Keep going.
About a dozen people or so, but we did, in fact, and I'll just be very blunt with it. It was, when you get into a group masturbation sense where the mindset is focused in, particularly where we were wanting to go into the spirit realm, yeah, it's powerful.
So I was saying it's already being used. The dark elite already use it and have been having great power with their manifestation.
Yeah. That was I love that group. I still remember them. Nobody's
talking about partner sharing, critical thinker. We're not talking about partner sharing.
No. Get it out of your head, man.
Yeah, that's not what we're talking about.
No. This is on a whole different level.
Yeah.
And it's powerful. It as a group. I'm sorry, I'm having a flashback. It's a very powerful thing, but it does require number one, a continuity of, I think, everyone that's in the group, and the fact that this is not sex. This is not to have sexual intercourse, that there is a greater goal.
Yeah, it's power manifestation. Exactly.
Thank you. Who said that's an excellent word? That's an excellent
and we wouldn't be, no, it's not, if you had, imagine 20 couples, committed monogamous couples, manifesting simultaneously towards one end.
Mm-hmm.
That's what we're talking about.
Yeah. And yeah, I mean, the military's known about this. I mean, the CIA, these are things that, and I agree. I think the elite are into things that we don't comprehend because we've been told, well, don't go there, children.
Yeah.
And as a result, we don't go there. But we always want to know what's going on in there. It's like, what are they doing?
Anne Marie makes a good point. Everyone in that group has to feel safe. So
yeah,
it can be done, but it will be hard to do.
It was a bond of trust because in our little commune, I mean, when you're working during the day and you're growing your food, you get close.
KTM says my partner just walked in and his eyes.
What are they talking about? They're talking about what?
Could you imagine though, if we could grow up and be mature enough to do that, we could change the world in a week, man.
The gods would revolt and we would see fire come down from heaven.
Or they would join us and say, what have you guys been waiting on?
Oh, now you see, there you go. That's breaking that construct because maybe that's exactly what we've been told. Well, those are the bad ones. They're trying to influence you. Really? I mean, again, what is this spirit realm you keep talking about? As I look back on our Christianity teaching, I keep on going, what were we taught about that realm?
You got to remember everything that almost everything in the Bible is an upside down and backward. And this came to me very strongly this week when I remember the passage that says, whenever they say peace and safety, sudden destruction will come upon them.
Yes.
And the reality is, and you may not agree with this, Wayne, but the reality is when the world starts saying sudden destruction, it's because they're scared to death because peace and safety is about to break out and disempower them.
Bingo. I love it.
Thank you.
I got this.
I had to give somebody a tongue lashing about that this week, and I enjoyed it, Wayne.
Excellent. I mean,
I opened a big old can of whoop ass, a double-sized can.
It just sometimes this makes you feel like, the truth, baby.
It does. It really does. Yeah.
It's odd that you said that because I had this white paper that I showed from this professor at the university that she did it in a very elegant way that everything in this world is inverted. We come into this world inverted.
Literally.
And we go out. Isn't it odd that we come in head first and we go out feet last?
Isn't that interesting? And why is it called a white paper? Is that kind of racist? Why can't they be black papers or
academic papers?
Academic papers. I like that better.
Yeah, academic papers. And
I mean, think about it. The blacklist is a bad list to be on. Your power goes out. It's a black out.
Or you want to be on the white list.
Yeah, what's up with that? What's up with that? And
there we go. I just got it. See, the black is bad. White is good.
Oh, and they teach us that sex is black. So really, sex is good. They've been trying to teach us that sex is bad, sex is dangerous, because sex is the key to our spiritual freedom.
And the problem is we've been taught, we're so ignorant when we're taught about sex. I mean, is it any wonder we're in this place?
It's no wonder at all.
People, they become very prudish, and they're going, and, unfortunately, the media takes sex as exploitation for profit.
Right.
We're not talking about that.
Why do you think here? Oh, this just dropped in my head. This is good. What is the most profitable thing on the internet?
Porn.
It's sex. It's the most powerful thing in this dimension. That's why the dark left, the dark state, the dark magicians have grabbed it and made it their own, and we need to take it back. We need to bring sexy back, Wayne.
And you think about porn. Now, I come from the video industry. The reason why we had VHS instead of Betamax was the porn industry. The reason why we had
I was going to make a joke about Master Betamax. I thought they would want to go that way, but
we had DVDs.
Why was VHS better than Betamax for porn?
VHS was cheaper.
Oh, okay.
And Betamax was a superior quality.
If you're going to have sex, make it cheap sex.
You have to have a wide distribution. In fact, if it wasn't for the porn industry, we would not have had the VHS industry, which today, 60% of the internet traffic is still to pornography.
Oh, it was Metaphysical Mama almost got there. She was close. Today we're children of the corn. No, we're not children of the corn. We're children of the porn.
Of the porn.
And we need to get out of that. Dude, come on. The most powerful cabal in the world makes more money off of one thing than anything else probably. That's sex. Hello, wake up. Take your power. We need to bring sexy back, Wayne, literally.
Oh, I agree. I used to go to an annual show in Las Vegas called VSDA, the Video Software Dealers Association, and it's where all the studios were giving out the next year releases that were coming out. And 1/3 of that convention was to the adult industry.
Wow.
And they are heavily investors in technology. Imagine that. You know, it's very, and go ahead.
I made a lot of money selling data center space to the porn industry back in the day.
Yeah.
They were the biggest consumers of it. They needed the biggest servers because they were serving the most stuff.
So I say we can take that power away, because what they've done is that they've perverted this into basically a mind meld that, you know, if there is such a hunger and humanity for this, what is that saying?
I maintain it's the strongest human drive.
Wow.
Let me ask you this. If a guy has a chance, if a guy is starving, right, Wayne, he's almost starving, and he comes into a place and one room has a steak dinner, the other room has the most beautiful woman he's ever seen, naked, saying, "Come hither." Where's he going first?
Most would go to the carpet.
Absolutely. He's going in to have the sex. Sex is an even more powerful motivator than food and hunger. How much more do we need to realize, oh, if we really want to take this over, we've got to get back to manifesting our power through sexuality.
I'll tell you.
It's clear.
It's powerful is what it is. And
it is.
They don't want to take that away, because that's what it is. It's power.
And think about what's happening with the new generation, new generations. The men these days are all playing video games. The sperm count is crashed, lower than it's ever been. And all of the women are out on, what's that thing called? Snapchat, taking pictures of themselves. And they're not even having sex anymore. It's terrible. But what are they doing? They are watching porn, probably more so than they ever have. So the dark left, the dark cabal, are being even more successful. That they are causing us. You know, we were having sex tainted by porn. Now we're not even having sex anymore. Porn is our sex.
Boy, when you're talking to me, I'm seeing these harvesters, because that's so much energy. It's so much kinetic energy that people don't understand it. Sure, Anne-Marie may be able to validate that. That's it. It's the kinetic energy that is being generated in that state of consciousness.
Yeah.
And it is a state of consciousness, Jeff.
Yeah. And somebody says, you know, laugh out loud, they're playing this game while they're watching us. And that when I see that, I want to do anything but laugh out loud.
It's like, wow, this has been a very revealing show this week, because this one is really getting into some, this is the power of magic itself. I mean, it's power.
You know, Wayne, I've actually asked myself, and I'm trying to get myself I think that this is the big key. I think that our learning how to manifest our power through our sexuality is the big key to becoming divine, sovereign, and free, and taking our world back.
I agree.
Moving to the next one.
I agree. Absolutely. And this could be a very interesting show. I mean, if it's not taught, I haven't ever seen it on YouTube. I haven't seen it on the internet. Anything beginning to broach this.
What's the old joke about the Mormons or the Baptists about dancing and sex? They don't want people to have sex because they might end up dancing or something. They don't want dancing to break out.
The two kind of go in hand, don't they?
That's why you don't want to invite just one Mormon on a fishing trip, because they'll drink all your beer. If you're going to invite a Mormon on a fishing trip, invite at least two.
I'm sorry, I just thought of something.
Critical thinker might have stumbled onto something here, and another reason why men. Do you think that porn is somehow related to making men feel inadequate with their size, so they don't want to show what they got because they're afraid a woman's looking for John Holmes all the time?
I haven't known that many women that would know who John Holmes was, but much.
Well, you know what I mean.
Yeah, I know. All I can say is this: is that if you know how to use the machinery, don't worry about shall we say the size.
Yeah, that's interesting.
Yeah.
That's interesting. I wonder if that's. Of course, Jeffrey says somebody. I don't know. That's interesting. That's an interesting thought. But yeah, we've got to. And that's the problem. I mean, the problem is these guys now, these stupid soy boys, don't even know how to talk to a girl.
Yep.
If they ever actually got in a place where they were going to have sex with a girl, they would try to do it porn style, and it would just be stupid.
It would be stupid.
Yeah.
We've lost the ability for young men, I think, by the foods, the chemicals, their lifestyles, is that most of them don't know how to be romancers.
Exactly.
What a shame. I mean, yeah.
Anne-Marie Paul says porn creates unrealistic expectation about male and female genitals.
Yeah. And you're absolutely right. It's but again, you get out on a commune where, clothes were optional. You find out very quickly.
You were on a commune where clothes were optional?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Wayne, again, this is a thing that we're not ready for, but being naked does give you a little edge of spiritual power.
It does. I used to have the thing as most young boys, you see a woman's breast and you all of a sudden begin having, an erection on that. It's because we're told, well, that.
What do you mean young boys, Wayne?
Well, I'm giving a demonstration here. But when you get out in the open where, you find out that, it's all part of it. And then there's different shapes, different sizes, and, you get over it really quickly. Now, the one thing I did learn is that if it's your first excursion out on that, you have to keep covered certain parts.
Yeah, I was going to say, what happens when the new guy's got the boner?
Oh, man.
That's got to be bad. That's got to be uncomfortable.
I seen some dudes that were crying like babies.
So how do you deal with that when the new guy comes in? It's your first time out there, and you're trying to be all spiritual and stuff, and your plumbing starts reacting as it will when it sees attractive naked bodies.
Well, you learn because when the other guys are going, it's natural. You don't point it out. I mean,
is there shaming? Do they shame the boner guy?
No. It's a natural reaction.
Okay, but what you're telling me is after
getting sunburnt, you ever have? and I'm talking your ass, and I'm talking about the front side as well. I mean, oh man.
Ooh. So I mean, if say that we were at a naked commune, after how long does it take before you don't have?
Takes a couple of days.
A couple of days. That's it.
Yeah, it begins to gradually. Yeah.
So then you begin to not just be. But is that a bad thing that aren't you supposed to be aroused when you see a naked woman? And then if constant exposure to a naked woman makes you not aroused, are you becoming not disassociated, but you know what I'm saying, the word I'm trying to say, are you losing that attraction? I don't know.
I don't think so. I mean, we went up on the Yuba River outside Yuba City in California. There was back in the day. You had to hike in for about a mile through the ravine.
Did you have your clothes on during the hike?
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
I
yeah.
would hope. I'm
And
thinking about chafing. That would be bad.
yeah, and there were families down there, and complete.
Oh, that gives me a little weirdness.
Yeah, I mean,
I
there.
mean, are you inviting pedophilia?
No, it's the thing about it is it's not sexual. It was the fact that you're camping, you're out there, and I mean, and the Yuba River is really some far out places to.
I've been out there.
Yeah, and no, the thing about it is, I guess for myself, I mean, maybe I was around more mature people, but yeah, I mean, if you see a good-looking gal, I mean, yeah, all right, so she's a beautiful-looking woman and she's well endowed, etc. But it's not a focus. It's
Interesting.
anyway.
I don't know if I could go right now with kids and adults together naked. Maybe I have to overcome that.
Well,
Or just for protection's sake. There's got to be, this stuff has to be heavily vetted.
yeah, I mean, this was back in the early 70s, and it was a different time. Maybe we were just the people that I were hanging out with. We were more interested in what we were looking for the astral realm. We were really wanting to have the out-of-body experiences, and we loved nature, and we were not ashamed of the fact that we had bodies, and that was just the mindset I had.
Well, a person in the chat room says that they were the only one wearing a bikini at a nude retreat. Let's hope this is a woman. And when she took it off, she felt very free.
Yeah, it's like taking the dive, off the high dive the first time.
Oh, this is a good statement. Anne-Marie Paul says, if you can get rid of the Jesus virus, you can get rid of the naked equals sex virus.
What? Right on.
Exactly
right
what
on.
it is. Boom. High five, Anne-Marie.
Yeah, absolutely.
So, but you probably, I mean, you can do the high five, but you probably don't want to do that jumping chest bump if you're naked. You might want to skip that part. I'm just thinking, although, anyway.
But I don't know. We had just a different attitude about the human body and sexuality. Now sex happened. I mean, yeah, we weren't dead.
Is sex more likely to happen if you're naked than if you're clothed?
I'll say this. There is a more of an intimacy, because the goal is not to get her out of her clothes.
Ooh, interesting. That work's already done. So your game has to be better, doesn't it?
Yeah, yeah.
Ooh, I like it.
And for a male, I began to learn that with the female, they're not motivated the same way.
Really?
There has to be that emotional connection. There needs to be a tenderness shown. And anyway, I digress.
No, that's really good stuff. That's really good stuff.
You learn it at a younger age, guys. It helps through life.
Yeah. Margaret says that she grew up, or Marguerite, sorry, grew up in a time and space where nudity was normal, nothing to do with sex. What happened to that? There it is. Nothing to do with sex. We're all psychic positioned in this crazy world. It's sick to think nude is anything but just not wearing clothes. Anne-Marie's right, and I'm stuck from our background. When you're thinking, oh, nakedness equals sex, it doesn't. No, and it probably takes you a little while to get past that. Somebody says, damn hippies.
Yeah, that's what we were. That's what they called us. But, it
would take a minute. It would take a minute. But, wow, it would be really, really powerful. And if we could just get to that place where we could, like, say you have a big gathering and you say we're gonna, like, let's somebody said this earlier, we're over time, but let's say this hurricane's bearing down on Florida, and you get a bunch of people together and they're in their places, they're manifesting, let's move this damn storm away, and there you go.
You know why we did circle dances and we did circle meditations in the nude?
Why?
Because we had a shaman teach us clothes carry vibrations.
They do. There's no doubt about it.
And you can be in a restaurant where they're serving barbecue. Your clothes are going to smell that smoke smell.
Yeah.
And when we got in circle meditations, it's powerful. I can't explain it because there's nothing to hide. I guess it's really more psychically you're focusing in on it.
And somebody said that, and this is powerful, if we got to that place where we could get past naked equals sex, the advertising industry would crash. They'd really have to have some good products. You can't sell a car just because it's got a hot chick in it. Okay,
Boom,
get the naked bitch out of the way so I can look at the car. And
well,
I know I use that word, and some people get mad at me, but come on.
We would decimate the porn industry. I mean, you've taken all the mystery, all the...
Yeah. Get the naked woman out of the car so I can look at it.
Yeah. It's like, can I see the car, please?
Yeah, really. Can I see the car?
Yeah.
But now we're so, oh, boy, she's hot. I love me some Ford. I got to buy a Ford.
Yeah, there we go. And the one thing I will say what I found out is that in group settings like that, the feminine really has it has this effect in a group. It's quite empowering, I have to say. It really is.
Yeah, Steven said one of the largest nudist colonies in America is where I used to live in Florida. I did stand-up comedy there, literally. I did.
Did you really?
I wasn't naked. I was clothed, but I did stand-up comedy at that nudist retreat, and it was really interesting.
Oh, man. You see, they always teach people about stage fright. Well, just see your audience is naked. You actually did.
Exactly. And that was one of my bits. I'm like, well, yeah. So
I love it.
Because all the other comics were afraid to, actually talk about these people being naked. That's boom. It's the elephant in the room.
It's like,
wow.
Well,
you guys are naked.
Like, don't tell everybody.
And it was so cold in there, Wayne.
I thought they were just happy to see you.
Yeah, wow. And I actually use that.
Oh.
You guys love my comedy, or are you just happy to see me? So there you go. But
I paid to go see that show.
Boom. There was video of it somewhere.
We got to get it. That's perfect.
But yeah, I could imagine that. Could you imagine? I mean, having your butt sunburned would be bad, but having your genitals sunburned, that would be really bad.
The Johnson is tender. That's all I got to say.
Paul P. worked a wine tasting at a nudist commune.
Oh, how cool was that, Paul?
Terry says you can't unsee naked volleyball. I don't understand naked volleyball. Why would you want all of that flopping and jump? It's not. Don't you want to be a little supported when you're doing all that jumping and stuff?
You know what we played?
Oh, God.
Horseshoes.
Naked horseshoes.
Yeah.
Interesting.
It's fun. It really is.
Oh, yeah. I can imagine naked horseshoe. Naked volleyball. And if you dive, if it's like beach volleyball and you dive and you get sand in all of your orifices.
I just thought of something.
No bueno.
It kind of brings out not having a ringer, right?
Oh, yeah, that's true.
Anyway.
Wow. Sandy grinding does not appeal to Joyce Marie.
No. No. I don't know. I was a surfer at one time. Sex on a beach can be really rough. I mean,
Bob asked naked podcast. Oh, boy.
Oh, mercies.
That's
right.
something else, man.
One. This has been a fun one.
This is good stuff.
It is.
There's got to be water involved, I think, because you got to get, like Tracy Dyer saying about nitty gritty sex. You don't want to have that.
No.
That's why it says beach sex is never as much fun as you think it would be.
It's just not.
It wouldn't be.
It's not. It just.
And what is Scott Shutt trying to do? Scott Shutt asks, do blood transfusion carry information or intentions to the recipient? That's a good point. Made it an odd time, but it's a good question.
It is a good point. I had to shift gears on that, It's like,
yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Well, yeah.
Are we mature enough as a society to be naked? I mean, really? We'd be so judgmental with each other.
Well, here in Colorado, our state Supreme Court ruled that women can go topless. It's not against the law.
I'd vote for that. I'm all for women's liberation.
But I never see women going topless.
Of
course, I don't see many men going topless either.
That's true. Would people be, generally speaking, Wayne, across the board, would we be in better physical shape if we spent more time naked?
Yes.
Lindsay Lindbergh says, I came at a good time. Naked talk.
We've been naked talking here for
We've
a
been
while.
naked talking for a while, Lindsay. So do you think people would be physically more in shape if we were naked more?
I'll put it this way. How many Amazonian tribes do we see where
they're not fat? None of them are fat.
None of them are fat. No, I get the thing. But the thing is, I think it does, in fact, have a great deal of that.
That's a really good point. So this is one of the ways towards getting us back to physical. And if you're more physically optimized, you're going to be more spiritually optimized. It all comes back to nature and natural, man. I like it.
So one of the things that people would come into the commune is that the fact that it was our view that an open body sends open signals. You have clothes, you hide behind your clothes.
You do.
You know, they say the suit makes the man. No, it's the man that makes the suit, but you get the idea.
Yeah. Nakedness is the original school uniform, isn't it?
It is. And isn't it odd that that's the first thing the Christian God did was to cover the people up?
Oh, Wayne, you just hit on it. That's the very first thing of religion was to cover nakedness.
Mm-hmm.
If we're going to get away from religion, we've got to uncover.
Got to.
First thing religion did. Oh, that is powerful stuff. And somebody said their neighbor invited them to join their nude group.
You know, if you have an intellectual group, I think that is really cool. I know some people out in California that have that.
Yeah.
But now let me say in the covering, Jeffrey, think about what he covered as well. The sexual organs.
He did. Bam.
The power source. Boom.
Cover your power source. That's right.
It's there.
Wow, this is good stuff. Someone says, oh boy, here we go.
Nakedness is power. You got
Nakedness is power.
I'm going to have to make a shirt like that. I love it.
You can make a shirt that says, I look better naked.
Oh, that is just too cool. Exactly.
Or my other shirt is my chest or something like that.
Yeah, my pecs look better than the other one.
And this guy says, it was Alexandros. My wife and I are heading to the nudist resort. Wonder if y'all want to come with us. Oh boy,
this has been fun, but there's deep truth here too.
Oh yeah. Oh, interesting. Yeah, this is good stuff, ladies and gentlemen. This is good stuff. Lisa Lyons says naked is being authentic. You can't hide yourself.
You can't. I mean, the body language, that's the thing. It's out there.
Oh boy. Somebody says their boobs look bigger without a shirt.
I can see that.
Does everything look bigger without a shirt or without the appropriate outer garments?
It comes into perspective, doesn't it?
It does. And boy, I tell you what, if you would get in better shape, live longer, be healthier just by being naked, Wayne, I just say, let's get naked.
Let's get naked. Boy, that's a show there.
I love it, dude. Wayne, we could have a big event out in Colorado. I'm just saying.
We could. There is. They're around.
Here we go, ladies and gentlemen.
Let's do it.
Here we go. Wow, what a show.
That was been great.
What a show.
I love it, Jeff. This is Jeffrey.
Shane says he's naked right now, still in bed.
Well, that's a good place to be. Nothing wrong with that.
Nothing wrong with that.
Yeah.
I sleep naked, and I don't need to go into that, but yeah, it's much better. I think it's much more healthy for you to sleep naked.
Yeah.
Because if you sleep with stuff on you all the time, there's moisture there, and you can get rashes and athlete's foot only north of that.
And then you perspire, and then you stink.
You do.
No one wants.
One thing I would miss though, Wayne, and I shouldn't say this, but I'm going to. I might miss tan lines. I like tan lines.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, I think today I would give a lot of consideration to the extra UV factor. I mean, That's some serious stuff. But
Yeah.
yeah, I like the tan lines.
I think that sunscreen causes more cancer than the sun.
Probably does. When you said the tan lines, I was thinking the beach blanket bingo movies, Annette Funicello and,
Oh yeah,
Frankie Valli and all the rest of them. Yeah.
back in those were the innocent days.
It was, and tans looked great back then,
They did. Well, Wayne, this has been one for the record book.
It has been. This has been this has been absolutely a delight, Jeffrey. Just a delight.
Yeah, this was not your normal, and Harry Christie says, not your normal Naked Sunday show.
Exactly. Well, Jeffrey, this is always my
this is what I like to hear.
Yes.
Somebody says they've got tan lines from their Miss Tech bracelets.
There we go.
So you can be naked and where you don't have to take your Miss Tech off just because you're naked is all I'm saying.
Hey, listen, bracelets I think even look better on naked people.
They do. I agree with you, Wayne.
Yeah, it draws your attention.
I agree with you, Wayne.
It's not looking at the rack, it's looking at the rack.
Let's make America naked again.
Let's do.
Make America naked
again.
You know
what? That could be the next biggest political party out there. The Democrats and Republicans could never attack us.
Yeah, Joseph Atwell's coming on in the next week or so. I have to look at I think it might be this week. He talked about Caesar's Messiah last time. He's talking about his second book, Shakespeare's Secret Messiah. I talked to Cliff High. He's willing to come back on, but I wanted to schedule him out too far, and his health is kind of dodgy.
How is his? I heard his health wasn't too well.
Well, I asked him to come on in like 3 weeks. He said, I can't schedule that far out. My health is kind of hit and miss, so yeah, that's one of those things. So we'll try to get him on kind of like, hey, how you feeling today kind of thing. So
excellent.
So we'd love to have Chris back on.
We'll just send him good healing energy.
Yeah, we appreciate Cliff. He's one of the great minds out there.
He's a good guy.
He is a good guy. Well, Wayne, speaking of good guys, that was a good show.
Thank you, sir. It has been an honor and a pleasure.
Absolutely. Manna hats. Oh, manna. Manna, make America naked again. And manna, it feeds the soul. Ooh, it's the original. Ooh, I like it.
Manna. Oh, good deal. I think we're going to have.
And you know what, Wayne? All of these Christian people and these Christian lights, they would hate us for this. That shows you. This will show you who's who. If they have a hatred and a vitriol towards nakedness, they are still under bondage.
I mean, talk about the line. You'll see it.
Anne Marie said it. If you cannot have the Jesus virus. No. As long as you have the Jesus virus, you'll have the naked equals sex virus.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Love to have you on my channel over there, Anne Maria. That is kind of the kind of talk that needs to be out there. Have you had her on?
Anne Marie was on, and it was a great show. We'll have her back on, too.
Absolutely. This is the kind of stuff. This is good stuff.
She's over in Bali, so you have to work the scheduling a little bit with her.
Okay. It's rather early in the morning there or late in the, what is it? It's yesterday?
Yeah, you'll appreciate having her on. Definitely do it.
Well, this has been revolutionary, Jeffrey.
Absolutely.
This is revolutionary.
All right, my friend. Thanks for being here. Thanks to all of you for being here. And this is not your normal Sunday show. And think about the stuff that we talked about today, ladies and gentlemen.
Do.
And we've got a rowdy crowd, which is the kind I like.
That's always the best kind.
Much love and appreciation to all of you. And ladies and gentlemen, let's give consideration to making America naked
again. Manna.
Take care, Wayne.
All right. Bye-bye, Jeffrey.